Venues. No, put it back on. Uh, hey James, I asked you to join my live. I don't know what's happening. Okay, there we go. There you are.
I'm somewhere. There's me.
Hey James,
Hey, hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm making it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking the time to do this. I know you're
No
busy.
worries. Yeah, busy doing absolutely nothing.
Don't listen to him, guys. He's always doing pretty cool stuff. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you bouncing in and out on me a little bit, but
Okay. What about now?
that's better.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, James, please tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll jump into what we're going to talk about this evening.
Tell a little bit about myself.
Yeah.
I tend not to have a little bit to tell about myself. I'm pretty I'm a pretty small big deal. I do a lot of things.
Mhm.
I see. I'm a puppeteer first and foremost. That's the thing that I do the most. Matter of fact, I'm sitting here sculpting a puppet head. This is one of my new mediums. I started clay.
Cool.
So I was playing with that while I was waiting for you, and then so I'm doing a lot more designing, a lot more building of puppets and stuff like that, which I had stopped for a little while,
Mhm.
just to gain some more information, some more knowledge. So I do that. I run a theater in Norfolk, Virginia on 35th Street, the venue on 35th Street. I have one, two, three, four different businesses that run simultaneously. Uh, yeah.
That's a lot.
That's it. I try to stay pretty busy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. When I met James, I was like, so when do you sleep, though? Like, ever. Does it happen? Hmm.
There's not a lot of use for sleep. My brain is always moving.
Like he does amazing things at Down and Groves. He runs like the whole theater there
Uh,
and just yeah.
well, I'm doing programming now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm doing programming now, so I'm doing all of the programming, like the things that we did, the videos and stuff like that. So
Good.
that, but I'm doing the actual classes. I'm bringing in, oh man, I'm bringing in a lot of stuff. I'm bringing in all the urban stuff, so DJing, b-boying, all of that stuff, African dance, yoga,
Nice.
um, some more paint classes, sewing. Uh, trying to get the children's choir back up. We're doing camp. We have a camp that starts next week, matter of fact. So we got acting coming through. So yeah, lots of stuff.
That's really good. Well, that's great. Congratulations on all everything that you got going on.
Yeah, well, you got a lot going on too, I see.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing a lot. So it's
Good.
a lot of fun. So
Awesome.
yeah. So yes, thank you for joining me. Do you have anything special to drink? Like, I just got some tea.
Yeah, that's pretty much as special as I get most of the time.
Okay. Yeah, I just got some tea and some water. So I want to. We're gonna talk tonight about balancing entrepreneurship, fatherhood, and mental health. So,
Okay.
been how long have you been a father? First of all, how long have you been a father?
Uh, Officially 24 years.
Okay.
But I've had nieces and nephews before that, and so
Hmm.
I tend to be that father figure also.
Okay. So, well, what about an entrepreneur? How long have you been doing that?
Officially,
I mean, well,
officially,
whenever
because
you first started working on your first business, I guess that counts.
uh, if that counts, then 1994.
Okay.
That's when I got out of high school and went on tour as an artist. So
Hmm.
that was my first artistry or attempted artistry. So I
Okay.
would say there is where I started business wise because that's where I'm at now. It's performance and entertainment. So
Okay. So you said you have five different businesses. Like, did you start? Well, okay, you didn't start them all at once. Did everything just lead into the next thing?
yeah, most of the time, I fill gaps. Whenever I fill a gap or see a gap, I fill it. If there's something necessary at the time, and then it always becomes a business. It always becomes something that I can pass on to somebody else.
Right.
Um, so and that's normally how I function. That's except for my theater. The theaters I tend to hold on to.
Right. Okay. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Gotta
Yeah,
keep some things for yourself. Gotta keep some of the juice.
sometimes.
So, in 24 years, you say you have two. How many kids do you have? Two?
Two, a boy and a girl. Yep.
Okay. So, what in 24 years, which do you think is harder to be a parent to, a boy or a girl?
um, the boy was harder. The boy was harder because he was so similar to me in some aspects, and then he
Okay.
was so different from me in some aspects. So, um, yeah, he was a little bit different, especially when you have certain expectations of your children and they don't follow those things.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still good with the choices that he made. I was like, it's not what I wanted you to do, but you made a good choice.
Yeah.
And allowing him to make his choices, which is one of the things that I was pretty conscious about when I started dealing with him. So yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good that you said that. A lot of parents, well, my parents didn't anyway. I'm not sure if they were conscious of that, but that's really good that you took that into an account. It's very important. So,
And right.
what's the most challenging thing of being a father? Period.
Letting go and letting them make decisions. You always want to keep them as safe as possible or as close as possible. So when they start to want to venture off in a way and experience new things, you're just like, I don't think that's a good idea. But
Mm-hmm.
you have to. You have to. You can't. Everything can't be spoon fed. So
Right. And I can only imagine. I don't have any kids, but I am Auntie Tamika, and I take care of kids throughout the week and stuff. And when I take them to the playground, it's so hard to be like, oh no, don't do that. Like,
right,
so
right.
I can only imagine how hard it would be to be like, oh, stop, like, but you can't. I don't know. How do you stop yourself from doing that?
You have to. You just have to do it. You just have to say, you
Hmm.
know what? He's gonna have to jump and fall and skin his knee, and before he actually listens. And a lot of times he wasn't the one. My daughter was more so the one that would actually skin her knee. My son would be like, I don't think this is a good idea. Let me go ask dad.
Huh.
So, but yeah.
Okay.
My daughter was the more adventurous one when it comes to stuff like that.
Hmm. So you just have to, I guess, just wait and see. Just hope for the best, really, right? Or
Yeah. Yeah, you do. You gotta be able to bite the bullet and be like, they're gonna make some bad decisions.
hmm
You gotta be there to clean up the bad decisions and still um, as you see them happening, don't let them go too far, you know.
Okay.
So yeah.
Hmm. So I guess I mean I don't I don't mean anything by this. So kind of like an experiment or an art piece. Like you just gotta.
Life is an experiment. Life is an art piece. That's the way I function in life. So yeah, that's not, you don't mean anything about it because it's the truth.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. You tend to know what's right and what's wrong, but at the same token, to keep forcing my ideas on them is not going to help them grow as a person.
Right. Yeah. I guess if anything, just build like a barrier between you guys. That's good.
Yeah, yeah. So and I have, with both of my kids, I have super strong relationships.
That's
Um,
good.
and they both will come talk to me about just about anything.
That's good. That's important. Definitely. So, what would you say the most rewarding thing about being a father is? Like,
Um, Seeing them achieve their goals, the goals that they set for themselves when like my son told me when he was 16 or 17, he wanted to be on Broadway.
ooh,
He hasn't made it to Broadway yet, but he's been on a national tour, which is, one step from being on Broadway. And he's steady working towards it. So I plan on seeing him soon on Broadway. He's got a great uh, what do you call it? A great network of people that he deals with. So yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah, that's really
And
important. And
then my daughter's actually doing music therapy over in college in Shenandoah, and she's doing great there too,
okay,
and loving it, making great decisions, doing big things. So
that's awesome. 'Cause I remember before I left Down and Gross, you telling us about her being interested in the program. So I'm so glad to hear that she's doing well in that. That's so cool.
oh yeah, yeah, she's doing fantastic now.
That is really
And
cool.
I believe so the program is a 4.5 year program, but she's coming out in 3.5 years.
That's great. Didn't you
Yeah,
tell me your kids were doing like wasn't she doing like college level stuff back then too? Like
in high school. Uh-huh. Yeah.
that's wild. This guy, yeah, that's
And
what I'm saying. Like,
and that was their choice. That was not my choice. I was like, if you want to do it, go ahead. But because I was at the same time, I was doing college level work. I was like, this is making my head hurt. And they were like, this it's easy, Dad. Just do this. I was like, oh,
what?
you're gonna be my tutor. Cool. So
Wow,
I lucked out on a lot of that stuff.
that's so cool. Well, yes, I wish both of them the best of luck. That is really,
Thank you.
really
Yeah.
awesome. So, what do you think it would be the best advice that you've given them so far?
Oh man. Just believe you can accomplish the goal. I mean, set a goal and stick to it. That's one of my big things. Is set a goal and stick to it.
Hmm.
Um, if you really believe that's what you want to do, then go for it.
Yeah, that's really good advice. Do you
Yeah.
wish someone, or has someone ever told you that before, or it's just like,
I told myself that.
okay, yeah, I was gonna say, sometimes we all don't have the best. I mean, I know I didn't. I didn't really get like, go for what you know or what you really want to do. Like, I never got that. I had to,
Right.
develop that on my own. So, but that's good that you could change that up, your mindset on your own to do that and tell your kids that.
Yeah, I think my parents gave me a lot of that. You do what you want to do, just don't get in trouble. And I was like, oh, okay. And I had to process what was trouble and what wasn't trouble. And not to say I didn't make some bad decisions, but I did. Whatever the consequences were, I dealt with the consequences. I didn't make it their issue to deal with them.
Hmm.
No, so
Okay. So, according to sondermind.com, one
hmm
recent survey found that 70% of fathers say that their stress levels increased just a year after they had kids. When do you think your stress levels increased as a dad?
20 minutes after I found out I was a dad. After I was like, yeah, no, after I think it didn't really increase until they were here.
Okay.
Once they were actual little beings that I could hold, then I had to process a lot more life.
Yeah.
Um, the stress factor didn't really kick in until they were actually little people.
Mm,
So yeah,
yeah.
but it's good stress. If if there's a thing,
Good
it's
stress.
good stress. And bad, yeah, it's good stress. It's like oh yeah, it's okay. Like it's tolerable stress. It's stress that I can live with.
Right. You rather do that than
Anything else, yeah.
okay.
And anything else, yeah. I'll stress over them before I do anything else in life.
Okay. Well, I understand that. That's cool. So, what made you just take a leap of faith and just go in on your dreams and what you want to do?
Um, I once again, I'm a person that likes to fill voids.
Hmm.
If someone needs something, and they have an idea, I'm along for the ride with those ideas. So those ideas normally uh, have little um, I'll say side ideas,
Hmm.
or things will just come up, in helping somebody else. I'll be like, oh, but they did that, but they didn't do this thing,
Hmm.
and so then I'll grab that thing and be like, oh, okay, and then business is born. My theater is one of the key things. Like it had to be 90, maybe 99, 2000, where I had a couple of friends and we were like, we can do this theater thing ourselves. And I was like, okay, cool. My job is to find a building.
Mm.
And everybody else was, I was
Sure.
like,
To
you
help
can,
you with that, I
you
need
can
your
do.
permission to allow assistant personal results on this
my
device.
Google decided to
You can
talk.
change
I
the
don't know
assistant.
why. um, uh, my job was to find a building.
Yeah.
Somebody else's was doing programming, and somebody else's was finding performers. I did my job. I found a building. I got a space,
Yeah.
and then I was like, "Yeah, so where's everybody else?" But
Mm.
they didn't hold up their end of the bargain, so I just had to, be like, "Okay, I'm turning that one loose." And I've done it several times where I've opened a theater and closed the theater, three times to be exact. And the longest lasting one has been the venue where I'm at now. Um, and that one has seemed to be the most secure, most longstanding. It was established before I took it over from some sweet older ladies that were done. They were like, "We want to go right. We want to be free." I was like, "I don't. Let me have it." And they were like, "Okay, you can have it." So
Okay.
I took over, and it's been great. The people here are great. It's been great mentoring them and being a quote unquote father figure to some of them, because some of them just don't have that support system. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think get people is why I jumped into that entrepreneurship thing. It wasn't really me. It was everybody else. It was, supporting everybody else.
Okay. Hmm. Yeah, that's really why I do what I do as well. Just the stories, the people I'm able to help and meet.
hmm
It's much more enjoyable than, a basic. I mean, I've met people at a 9 to 5 or a traditional job before as well. So that's not to say that doesn't work too, but
You met at least one.
Definitely. For sure. So, yeah, it's just
Yeah.
different types of lifestyles. Would you say that being an entrepreneur has helped you have a more enjoyable lifestyle for you and your family?
Oh, yeah, I can say so. I've been able to function a little bit more. I think there's always ebbs and flows.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's times when the business takes precedence over family, but there's when the family's running smooth,
Mm-hmm.
then I can do that. When the business is running smooth, then I can go back to the family. Just having that conscious balance of each one needs a little bit um, of time and energy,
Mm-hmm.
every so often. So once that's locked into your head, it's pretty easy.
So that's what I was gonna ask, but how long did it take you to get that like down pat? Because sometimes I'm like always just like work mode. I always like, I have 1,000 ideas. Like,
Right.
so I'm always just, okay, I can do this next and I'm gonna do this, like, and I'm just always looking for stuff. How do you turn that off? Like, how do you know when
Hey, you don't turn it off. Hey, you really don't turn it off. I never turn it off. What I do is I insert
Mhm.
family thoughts in between. Like I'll do three or four things for the business, and I'm like, oh, let me go to the grocery store, and then I'll do three or four things for the business. And even like I'll go to the grocery store, and I'm like, oh, I should get this for, the venue. Oh, we need to get water for the venue. Oh, we need, I was like, oh, let me, so you just kind of insert the things together, so they end up being a part of you, totally. So they end up balancing themselves, and when there are things that you love to do, your loves will always balance each other. They'll, each one will speak to the other and be like, okay, it's time for that and not time for this,
Right.
and so forth and so on. And you create the support that you need for that aspect.
Okay. Speaking of support, like who help or what helps you keep everything together, like everything balanced? Who do you
Man,
like?
you know what? It's funny, but I have a great team at the venue of volunteers. George Mendez, J. Scott Wilson, Shanadiah Nixon, Sarah Mendez. Uh, they're really like my glue when it comes to my the venue space.
Right.
They all chip in and help out and work as hard as they can, and they don't ask for anything.
Mm,
They just do it for the art. We all do it for the art. We all do what we do because we're artists and we love what we do. And then when it comes to everything else, it's always good people around me. I surround myself with people that understand the arts
hmm.
and want to better themselves and the art at the same time. So,
What would you say to maybe an entrepreneur who hasn't found their group or their support system or just fathers or anyone really? What would you
go
tell
find them. Go find them.
them?
Go find them. Stick yourself in a group. A lot of people, like I'm actually a very solitary creature. I like being by myself.
Hmm.
Uh, I actually thrive being by myself. That's when I find out get my most work done.
Hmm.
So I tend to move a lot by myself, but I do understand that I need more people to be around. Uh,
Hmm.
so I get those people. I gravitate towards those people that I deem like me, that I can work with, and then I'm like, okay, let's get this done. Can we get this done? Can we do? And it normally works out. Normally works out pretty well.
Okay. Yeah, so you just gotta fill it out. Give yourself
Right.
be around different people.
Yeah.
Hmm. sometimes that's been a challenge for me, but it wasn't such a challenge for me after I worked at Downing because I was just like, okay, well, you just talk to people
Right, right,
and just
right.
figure out, what they like to do, and you guys can help each other, like you said, and get stuff done.
Right, right. And sometimes it's hard to talk to people, when you're not that type of person.
Yeah,
Uh, but once you get moving on it, it fans itself out.
definitely. So, which business venture do you think has been the most challenging, and what's your reason for just keeping it?
Oh, puppetry is probably the most,
Mm-hmm.
because peop, it's not a mainstream thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like visual art where you can just create and people will buy, people, create and buy. It's a specialized thing where people come to you for a certain thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's why I think that one is the harder of the bunch. It's great when it comes to summer, because everyone is looking for something to do with their children in the summer, and puppetry is the greatest thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone says, "Oh, you're doing a puppet camp? I'm bringing 18 kids." I'd be like, "Cool, I think."
Right.
And then when I have 18 kids staring at me saying, "We want to make puppets," okay, and I start them off with shadow puppets, they'll be like, "But these are not what we wanted to make." I'll be like, "But we got to start here. We got 7 more weeks of puppet making, and I got to start you somewhere. We can't go straight to making all the fun fuzzy stuff. We got to do the basics first." Um, and but it's still fun, and I get a lot of people end up uh, jumping right in. I actually have an adult class coming soon,
Mm.
um, which is more, they get to do more hand sewing and more machine sewing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's a more advanced level of building those puppets. Um, and it's going to be more, much more intense. And we'll do some filming and video work, so they'll get the cinematic side of everything also, because that's one of the businesses too, is making film production. So that's one of the things I do also.
Well, you should definitely offer a virtual class so people far can join as well.
Yeah, I'm working my life out on that one.
Okay. Yes, I understand.
I definitely have to once I sit still to teach the class. That's when it'll really happen. So I got to do that.
What about can you describe can you describe a way that you take care of your mental health? Like, is there anything that you have to do daily to keep you being you?
Create things. I think every day I make something.
Mm,
Even if I sit and doodle on a piece of paper for 20 minutes,
mm,
I have to create something. I have to get an idea out of my head. I'm working on a book, a couple of pages of the book. Yeah, it's just a little bit of creative, 20 minutes by myself. Um, I'll get up in the morning and go to the gym. I actually won't get that chance the next 5 weeks because I'm being camp. So camp
okay.
is 8 to 5. So it's gonna be 8 to 5, and then it's gonna be uh, figure out which eyelid I'm gonna close first to go to sleep. But yeah, just taking the time to do. something that I like to do, and not do something for somebody else. Um, is what that I just got to take that time sometimes.
Yeah. Again, that's just so hard when you do everything for everyone all the time. Like it's hard to be like, no, I'm not gonna answer that text message or you
I've gotten really good at it.
yeah.
I'm really good at it. I try to, it's hard because it's, sometimes it's business related and you want to answer the business line at 6 o'clock at night,
Right.
because I'm like, oh, somebody needs something. And you feel like Superman, but you're like, yeah, but it's 6 o'clock at night and business hours are over.
Right.
So I'm not answering the phone.
Yeah.
Or I just don't get the phone call. A lot of times, my business phone calls I don't get as much, because I'm moving around so much, and I prefer people to leave messages as best they can. But I try to get back with them as soon as possible, as much as I can. But it's a lot, it's a lot, especially when it comes to the theater. It's a lot going on, and then it's a lot going on with all of the other things that I do. So, uh, but that's what I try to do. Mentally is just make sure I do a little bit of what I want to do. That keeps me looking forward to getting back to it. So that's, like especially with this new medium, which I fell in love with the first time I put my hands on clay, especially oil based, because if I mess up, I can start all over again with the same thing, and I can keep going back and keep remaking stuff. And what I like about it is I can make my patterns out of it, and once my pattern's made,
Mm-hmm.
I can cut the pattern off of it, and I can make as many as I want, and then I can reuse my clay. So I love that.
Okay.
So,
We'll check that out.
yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I really, yes, once you figure it out, please do a virtual class. But I understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
I understand. Have you ever found it difficult to talk about your mental health experiences with others, especially as a Black father?
Um, yeah. I find a lot of stuff difficult to talk about with as being just being a black male in general.
Mm,
Uh, just because there's so many stereotypes,
right,
so many things. So people don't really hear you the way that they would hear other people.
right.
But I've found that if you repeat it over and over and over again to different people, somebody's going to take you seriously. And as soon as you grab that one person that will take you seriously, you can make some things happen.
Yeah, that's true. Just gotta stay persistent. And I totally agree. I think that as just a Black man, I mean, I seen in my household or just growing up, anywhere I've been, church, wherever, it's like they want you guys to know everything but nothing. Like don't say anything, but
Right.
know all of this stuff but don't say anything. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's almost 100% correct. uh, you have to be able to do everything, but you can't do everything.
right. Yeah. Well, from everyone in the Black community, I'd like to say thank you to all the Black fathers. So thank you.
I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everybody.
Yes, definitely. But I just, what do you think it'll take for those types of stigmas to end, or those challenges to end?
uh, it's just bringing awareness to that thing, just doing it as much as possible when you can,
Hmm.
um, and doing it. That's the big deal, as much as you can, talking about it. The more I think symposiums, just panel discussions, things of that nature. Your platform, is a great one. More of that would really help facilitate, better what we're trying to do, what is going on in the Black community, how people are feeling, and validating some of the feelings.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, and that goes for male and female, everybody, sometimes your feelings aren't validated by other people. They're just like, oh, suck it up, and men in general get that rap all the time.
Definitely.
Uh, but it happens, to everybody. So I think validating people in general is a good thing to do.
Yeah. Definitely making sure people know that they're heard, not just being swept under the rug is really important for sure. But that
Yeah.
makes it
Yeah.
more of a mess and people being more upset at each other for more stuff. But yeah. So
Right.
how do you I think I already asked you that. How do you remain organized? You told me a little bit about that.
Like I said, if I didn't have a crew, I would not be organized. They keep, like I said, they keep the building running. They keep the business running. I keep, track. Like I use a lot of calendars. I think I have a calendar at work. I have a calendar in my phone, a calendar on the computer. I have a calendar in my car. I have a calendar in my truck. I have a calendar. I got calendars everywhere. And then I'll have people say, "Hey, did you remember such and such?" Alarms. It's always my phone's going off right now because I got, it does it just is what it is. You just gotta stay focused and use the tools that you have. Yes, technology is great. Using those tools to really mm, to help you, progress forward, and not shy away from. I know a lot of people shy away from them, especially when you're making when you don't know which button to push. When you're on Instagram Live, you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna push this button because I've done that several times. I was like, oh, look at that, that's me.
So that's what I was gonna ask too. Like, how much time do you spend on social media? Like, I'm trying to. It's really bad for me. Like, I'm trying to get off of it like completely, but then I'm like, but I gotta post this, or I gotta whatever. So like in between my shows, like I'll delete it. Like right after I post our stuff together, I'm gonna delete it again, and then till next Sunday. And then so I'm like. I don't know. Like, how do you spend a lot of time on social media?
I actually don't like posting wise, no,
Hmm.
but I I do spend a lot of time checking. I think I use it to check on people. Like it's my phone. It's like I was like, oh, they're doing okay. Okay, they're doing okay. It's my barometer for the world to make sure everybody's okay without me having to check on them or talk to them. Be a little detached but still attached. That's how I function on social media. I post a little bit, and I've posted more since the world has quote unquote opened up
Hmm.
from the pandemic. I post a little bit more, but a lot of my social media is business related, so I tend to not. I post that stuff. What's related to the business, and then I just kind of keep it moving. Every so often, I'll post.
Hmm.
I started was TikToking,
Okay.
and I'm not very good at it yet. So don't go looking for me. I'm not.
I keep jumping back and forth with that one. Like, I was like, I don't know,
Yeah,
am I too old for this? And then I'm like, but I can do it, right? Like, I don't know.
yeah, yeah. It's fun. I just have to kind of get used to the format. I think that's my problem is
Mhm.
actually getting used to that format.
Yeah.
So.
So, how essential? You talked about your support system. How essential do you think communication is to being a father and an entrepreneur?
No, it's definitely. I mean, that's number one. If you're not communicating, you're not making decisions, not making good decisions. You're not making informed decisions. You're not making decisions that people can relate to. Um, and you're not growing. If you're not communicating, you're just, in a shell, not growing, not adding to your the educational value or the educational exchange of communication, because that's where that exchange happens, is, by communicating, even if it's just a sticky note on the refrigerator, or a quick text message to let somebody know they're proud of you or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Those things go a long way.
Yeah,
So
really important for sure. Have you ever been in a situation where someone's like, and I'm asking for a friend. Have you ever
yeah.
been in a situation where you're trying to communicate, maybe you're doing something new, you're working on a new project or something, and the person gets upset with you for asking questions? How do you handle things like that?
I'm a father, so it's normally, this is for you, not for me. I'm helping you, so you need to give me the information I need so that I can help you.
Right.
And if you're going to get frustrated with me, then I just won't help you. I'll let you do it on your own. And I'll pull back. I'll pull back very far, and then let you come to me. It's just the way I function. Some people aren't like that. Some people will keep asking the question, and that can be an annoyance to some people because they haven't figured it out either.
Oh,
So if they haven't figured it out, then I don't know what answer to give you. So you give them a little bit of time, give them a little bit of space. When you can answer my question, don't look for an instant answer. Sometimes you just gotta wait a little bit. So
hmm. See, that's my thing. Patience. Patience.
oh yeah, you gotta have. That's the one thing you learn quick with parenting is patience, because especially with changing diapers, because changing diapers can be a dangerous situation.
Yeah, it is not the best. Like working at daycares and stuff. I'm like, I don't enjoy that at all.
Yeah, no. Gotta take your time, be patient.
So, what are you looking forward to the most as an entrepreneur? Anything?
Believe it or not, it's the time when I can retire. No. And it's funny, but that's really it. It's passing it on to somebody else. That's what I'm really looking for, is passing it to somebody else, and somebody else seeing the vision that you have for whatever the business is, and being able to. I've had a lot of people want to partner with me in my business, and as we communicate, talk, and get to know each other, I find out that they're not on the same wavelength. They're not on the same page, not the same thought process. They are really in it for something other than what I was in it for,
Right.
um, which can be okay, because it can add a layer to the business, but it also um, changes the business's direction if it's not the right thing.
Mm. Huh. Okay. Well, I guess you'll just know when you meet the right person, though, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, of course. You always figure it out.
Yeah. That's okay. Well, what are three things that you would suggest to other men who may be dealing with various mental health issues or stress, especially fathers who like to be entrepreneurs, but they don't really believe in themselves yet to take that jump.
Um, Slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady. If you're not quite where you want to be, just do a little bit of it.
Mm,
Make a little bit of the vision come to fruition, and then add a step here, add a step there.
mhm.
You don't have to jump all in. The pool is a big place.
Yeah.
The ocean is even bigger. But if you want to learn how to swim, flop around in the bathtub first. Get used to sticking your head under the water, and then go to the swimming pool. You'd be like, oh, this is great,
Yeah,
and there are no sharks here, nothing to eat me. I'm good.
right.
Okay, I'm gonna go jump into the ocean. Wait a minute, there's a fish. I'm going back to the swimming pool. You can do that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Don't think you're locked into one thing. If you start a business and it doesn't pan out, step back away from it and see what the problem is. Get a mentor. Mentors are great. I have a couple of them. When I was younger, I had a lot of people that just let me do things within their businesses. That's how I learned lighting design. That's how I learned sound design. That's how I learned set design. People were like, here are the tools. This is what I need. This is A. This is B. See
Yeah.
you when you're finished. I'm like, okay. But they believed enough in me that I was going to get the job done. So you got, finding that mentor that's saying, "Hey, shoot your guns." And I do a lot of that in my theater. A lot of people will be like, "I want to do a show and I want to do this." So I'm like, "Okay, how are we going to do the show?"
Hmm.
And I let them talk me through it, and I look for those pitfalls, and I be like, "Are you sure that's what you want to do?" And they be like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Okay, we can try it." And then I'll let them, "Oh, we should have did this." Yeah, okay, good. So next time you do it that way. So yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's the position I'm at right now. I feel like I'm in the right now the position where I'm at. I'm working for my own business, but like, it's like I'm getting paid to go to school in a way, kind of.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
and it's great, it's awesome, but sometimes I really like, dang, can I do this? Like, but these are different things that I've been talking about I want to do, and I'm like, oh, it's right here, So just
Yeah.
just keeping up with those opportunities and being open to, yeah, like you said, different mentors and meeting different people and actually doing
Yeah.
some stuff. So
Yeah. 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 You've been pretty busy though. Like I said, I stay on social media to watch people.
I'm just trying
And
to.
I'll see things pop up. I was like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah. I remember one of the last conversations I had with James was like, you can do this stuff for yourself too, right? Like,
Yeah.
what did they say? I was like, yeah. Like,
Every,
yeah.
every, everything you do, every talent you have, if you can do it for somebody else and make, some consistent money, but
Mhm.
always be ready to do it for yourself on the side. Always be ready to do, hold something back for yourself.
Yeah.
Always. That's the greatest thing about entrepreneurship is, yeah, I can do, things for everybody else,
Right.
but I want to do some things for me too.
Exactly.
You know,
And that's what I'm learning. Like, it's okay. Like, I don't have to give out all the juice. Like, that doesn't
you
make
don't have
me a bad person because I want to do things for me too.
right. Yeah, you can definitely do those things.
Yeah, man. Definitely. Well, I've only got one more question for you, and then I'm gonna let you name that piece. And but thank you so much for doing this again. This has been awesome talking with you,
You're
James.
welcome. You're welcome very much.
Thank you. So I personally think that fathers don't get the credit that they deserve. So how important do you think that the presence of a father is? What ways do you believe that builds a person's mental health structure?
Ooh, oh, that's a question. I think. Oh, that's dope. I like it.
Mhm.
I think that it definitely makes stronger foundations for people. It gives you validity in your thought when you have, well, especially if you have a strong father that's really going to help you elevate every time they see you want to do something. I know fathers that see their children as athletes and like, yeah, he's going to be a great football player, and then you give him a trumpet, and he's like, well, okay, but I want him to be a football player, but he's got this thing for the trumpet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna push him towards the trumpet, and not the football thing. Just have those fathers that can see, okay, yeah, I'm gonna swing in his direction. I'm not gonna swing in the other direction. Those are the ones that really leave an indelible mark on their children. My dad was definitely very pro. Hey, go do your music. Hey, go sing. Hey, go do that thing. Hey, yeah, go do it. Go, yeah, cool. I was 12 years old. I had computers that ran music software. I was like, yo, this is the stuff that's in the big studio. And my dad, yep, go ahead, do the thing. So yeah,
Awesome.
that's I think that's having that support system, and even not having that for some people that don't have that father, the true father figure, having a true father figure. It still makes a difference. So having people in the community that you can look at and lean on, and that give you a strong foundation, that male counter to the female counter, they're both valid. They both hold weight. They both are necessary for a good foundation for people. That's just me. I'm an all around person. I'm not going to give more weight to the other.
Yeah.
It's just one's a foundation, one's the house,
Yeah,
but they're all that thing.
definitely. I totally agree. Like my dad was one of my biggest cheerleaders. Like he was there telling me I could do whatever. If I wanted to turn the sky yellow or orange, like I could do it. Cause like just cause.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, I totally agree. I think that's where your self-esteem and stuff comes from. Like that's, if you seen dad do it or whatever he's thinking, like you can do that. So I've even seen some of my friends now, grown guys, playing out from whatever their dad said or didn't say. So I
Right.
definitely think it holds weight. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think once you hear from your dad, you're like, yeah, I think I can do this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
I think I'll be all right.
Yep, I'll be okay. Well, again, thank you so much for doing this. If you like to share, can you share what you're doing one more time?
Of course, ish.
Yes.
I still got a little bit of work to do, of course, but he's coming. He's coming slowly but surely.
So
Yeah,
so awesome.
and it helps for me to be looking at the picture, which is way on the other side of the room, and I'm not going to get it. But I can see it. I can see it, but it's like three tables away from me. I'm like, I'm not going to get that.
Well, yeah, definitely share pictures when it's done. Definitely.
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah. I got you.
so does he have a name yet? That's what I want to know. Does he have a name yet?
He does not have a name. No, it's funny. A lot of people ask that. They were like, "Did you name?" No, the character doesn't even have a name yet because he doesn't have a life yet. For me, in my head, he's not there yet. So once he's alive and I see some movement, and then I'll get
Okay,
some things.
that makes
So
sense.
yeah,
I understand.
yeah,
Okay, well,
yeah.
what would you name my piece that I've finished here?
I don't know. Let's see. I see a road.
A rose.
Uh, I see a road. I see some trees. I see a long road to go. I see
Yeah.
a midnight road, a dark road. Yeah, like a midnight road to paradise.
Okay, that's what I call it, a midnight road to paradise.
I like it. It's nice. It's very nice. My brain sees like one stroke is like 300 different things. So
You
it's a bear coming out of the woods.
you see a person right? Right. That's what I was
I
gonna say. You
do
see a
see.
person right
I do see the person. That
here?
sounds like.
I'm telling y'all, like these, I don't be planning nothing. I'm like, I'm just gonna use these colors, and you know, this
Yeah.
kind of isn't fair because me and James used to work together so much, and this is what I used to do all day. He'd come into my office
Right.
and be like, okay, what did Tamika do now?
Right.
Like, if he didn't know
Right.
me, he'd
Right.
be concerned, like, what's going on? But he,
No, I see the beauty. I see the beauty in the piece. I see it's literally giving me. There was I'll leave you with this. There was a time where I went on a trip, and there I can't remember where we were. We were in West Virginia, and there were 888 steps to the water,
hmm
like a stairway. It was a staircase, and we got the bright idea to go down the staircase.
oh,
I didn't get the bright idea. I was following other people. I don't know why I did that because I didn't realize I had come 888 steps back up. So, but that is what the picture reminds me. It has that, that graduated staircasey thing looking, and
mm,
that's that thing. But it was a great time. Going down the steps, and we talked the whole way down. A woman ran down past us and ran back up. We were still halfway down the steps. It was amazing, but but that's what it reminds me of.
and where
So
were you at?
it was in West Virginia. I can't remember exactly where I was at, but I was like, what am I doing? Why are we walking down these steps? And then I looked back, I was like, that's a lot of steps back up, but we
Yeah.
were already at the bottom. I was like, well, here's the rest of our day. So it took us, I want to say it took us about 2 or 3 hours
Wow.
go down and back up. So like an hour and a half down, an hour and a half up. Yeah, it was intense. So,
Wow.
but
Okay. I'm
but
gonna
that piece is gorgeous.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And once again, thank you so much. Anything else you'd like to share with us or say before we head out for the evening?
No, just keep grinding, keep creating, keep doing what you do. I'm proud of you. I love to see. I think your smile is amazing. You're
Thank
gorgeous.
you.
You're awesome.
Thank you.
And keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job.
Thank you so much. And I'll be talking to you soon, fam. I love you. Peace
Appreciate it. Love you too.
out.
Peace.
Talk-